So let's move on to the latest news on the possible impending war with Syria. We do have some interesting developments, to say the least. So this next bit of news is sort of good news. It looks like good news, but then when you examine it, it's really not as much good news as it initially seems. So President Barack Obama, in a speech at the Rose Garden on Saturday, said he does want to attack Syria. He made that clear. We knew that, though. We knew that going in. You know, they'd sent the carriers out there. We knew that he wanted to do it. Why he said he does want to attack Syria. However, he said he is going to go to Congress first in order to get them to approve the strikes on Syria. And after he said that, frankly, a lot of liberals celebrated. They said, see, President Obama isn't like George W. Bush. See, he believes that Congress needs to do what the Constitution says it's supposed to do, and that only Congress can declare war. So isn't Barack Obama great, getting congressional approval back for these strikes, returning to constitutional rule, constitutional law? Isn't Obama wonderful? And look, while it is positive that Obama is actually going to Congress, that is a positive step. Here's the deal, though, folks. When you actually look further into the speech and further into the comments that the administration has made after the speech, it's actually not as good of news as you think. In that same speech where Obama announced that he's going to go to Congress, he actually also said, quote, "While I believe I have the authority to carry out this military action without specific congressional authorization, I know that the country will be stronger if we take this course, and our actions will be even more effective." So, end quote. So look, folks, I don't know what you're celebrating about. You know, he actually doesn't think he needs congressional approval to go to war with Syria. He said it right there. I believe I have the authority to carry out this military action. He said it. He's just doing it, I don't know, to be nice, or because it helps him politically to say that Congress approves of his war in Syria. So look, he's going to Congress, but he doesn't believe that he has to go to Congress. Isn't Barack Obama great? Isn't he wonderful that he's consulting the little people? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't he the best? I'm sorry, when he says that, does the fact that he's going to Congress, when he says he doesn't have to go to Congress, does that actually make you feel better about Barack Obama? That he's still claiming the power to do it without Congress? That actually makes you feel better? It doesn't make me feel any better. And furthermore, if Congress does in fact vote against it, it's actually more indications are showing that he still might attack Syria anyway, even if Congress votes against it. Time magazine reports, quote, "Obama's aides made clear that the president's search for affirmation from Congress would not be binding. He might still attack Syria even if Congress issues a rejection," end quote. Does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better when they're saying flat out, even if Congress says no, he still might do it anyway? Secretary of State John Kerry was on all the Sunday shows, and he said, quote, "The people of America should be celebrating that the president is not acting unilaterally," end quote. Hooray! He's not acting unilaterally. He then went on to say that the president has the right to take action, quote, "no matter what Congress does." Seriously, can you get more condescending than that? Just celebrate. You should be celebrating. Having a parade in the street, throwing confetti up and down. You should celebrate that your just and fair leader is coming to you for approval to go to war that the Constitution says he needs to. Isn't it great? Celebrate. He doesn't need to, and if you say no, he still might go to war anyway, but celebrate. Celebrate that he's actually humoring you. He's humoring you little people with the fact that he wants to maybe get you to nod on this. Let's throw him a parade. Let's celebrate. Let's give him another Nobel Peace Prize as he goes to attack and go to war with another country. And look, It's obvious even before these comments that the Obama administration does not think it needs approval to go to war. Congress voted against the Obama administration's attack on Libya, and Obama did it anyway. That already happened. That is fact. That occurred. But let's get past the condescension here and get to the actual authorization of force, the actual text of it. So while President Obama says that this is, what he wants to do is a limited strike and there's not going to be any boots on the ground or soldiers on the ground, the truth is, folks, when you read the actual authorization, the way the authorization is worded, it actually would allow boots on the ground. It would allow soldiers on the ground. And in fact, the wording actually could expand out war to Iran. It actually could. When you actually read it, it is worded so vaguely that it could expand to anything the administration wants it to do. But again, it would allow boots on the ground. But again, who cares? Who cares? The president has said he doesn't need congressional approval anyway. Look, despite the condescending attitude of the Obama administration on this, I actually want to get past that at the moment because I actually do think that as a progressive and as we're all progressives here, I actually think it is quite important, very, very important, that we do as much as we can to put as much pressure on Congress as possible to vote no against authorizing military force. And look, the sad truth is, folks, a ton of Democrats are on board with the attack already. Pelosi's banging the drums of war. There's a lot of Democrats who you would hope would be against this, who you would hope would have learned from Iraq and all our other horrible wars that are still banging the drums of war. But look, I want to make the point clear here. This is actually a time that no matter where you live, blue state or red state, this is actually an opportunity that no matter where you live, you actually can make your voices heard on this. Because this is actually going to be a bipartisan vote one way or the other here. And the truth is, it's actually not a given that Republicans, especially Republicans in the House of Representatives, are going to vote to approve this war. It's actually not a given. So look, if you live in a blue state, you need to tell your Democratic politician, do not support this war. We will remember your vote on this war, just like we remembered who voted for the Iraq war. You have to make that clear to your Democratic politician. But also, look, if you live in a red state with red Republican representatives, even if you have a Tea Party congressperson, actually, especially if you have a Tea Party congressperson, let them know that you are against this war, that as a constituent, you are against this war. And look, I can already hear some liberals saying, how dare you? How dare you even speak to Tea Party congresspeople? How dare you say we should work with the Tea Party? Look, I'm sorry, if it stops us from going to war, you're goddamn right I'll work with the Tea Party. You're goddamn right. Is your party loyalty more important than stopping us from going into another stupid war? A war that, as we talked about last time, has absolutely no possibility for a positive outcome or even a defined plan or war strategy. And look, I'm obviously not saying vote for the damn Tea Party. Of course you shouldn't vote for the Tea Party, but if you can pressure a Tea Party member into voting against the war, even if the Tea Party member's motivation is just the stupid, ridiculous Tea Party hatred for all things Obama, if it's just the racism against Obama, look, I don't care. I don't care what the Tea Party's motivation would be in voting against the war. What's Nancy Pelosi's motivation for beating the drums of war? I don't care about that either. I don't give a damn what Pelosi's motivation is. I care that Pelosi is supporting the war. I care that bombing Syria will kill innocent people, and as we talked about on the last show, will make the situation in Syria worse.